This morning, Josh is showing us how to mix your own chicken feed for significant cost cutting like Joel Salatin. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning.
You ready to mill some grain?
Yep.
What do you got there?
Well, this is just a little book that my wife put together. We did some research and we kind of tried to do a business plan and figure out what our costs were going to be. And this is how we formulated our feed cost. We talked to Ryan and we said, what do you sell corn for? He said, well, that's 19 cents a pound. Soybeans are 30 cents a pound. So we just figured out our percentages and averaged everything, and we came up with about 30 cents a pound. Oh. Which is a huge savings over what we were paying back home for organic chicken feed at about 82 cents.
Yeah. We were off from what you said yesterday, which was, I think you said 19 cents?
Yeah, it's actually...
But still, 29 cents versus 80, what was it, 84, 80?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Cool little journal. It's good to keep that. Soy and corn.
We had a soybean roasting service come out with a huge truck, and they took a big grain buggy like this full of our soybeans and then roasted them and put them in another buggy. So now all we gotta do is grind them.
That's what it looks like finished?
That's what the soybean meal looks like after we grind it, and then that's the corn.
What kind of meal is that?
I'm not sure. It's Ryan's. I know he got it from Premier One.
Okay.
I think their website is premieronesupplies.com. But if you just Google Premier One, you'll find it. And
based on what you said, this is probably good for a homestead level, not necessarily the commercial level like you're at. If
you had a couple dozen chickens, this would be perfect. But we've got 120 broilers right now and 300 layers. And this takes a really long time. So what we'll do is we'll start it and then we'll go work on other things like the Eggmobile or whatever, and then we'll just come back and keep checking it and swapping out the buckets.
Okay.
So one thing we've noticed that helps is putting the bucket up on some blocks so that it's closer to where the feed comes out, because we noticed when the wind blew that some of the finer ground stuff was blowing away. These are the screens that go in it that give you a different size grind. So this one is for flour, and we have found that this one is too fine. I have heard that if you grind it too fine like this, that it can cause blockages, and you could lose chickens. Imagine trying to eat a spoonful of flour. It wouldn't be very pleasant, and you'd probably choke.
Yeah, that's just creeping along, but there's plenty of other stuff to do while this goes, so it's no problem at all. Now we're going to show how to actually ration it out and mix it. There's the classic recipe from Joel Salatin himself.
For the chick starter, we wanted higher protein because we didn't have our fish meal yet. So we dropped the corn and raised the soybeans by 5%. That's how we came up with our numbers yesterday.
What about, Crimped Oats, 11%.
Huh.
Oh,
this is the broiler, that's why. This is the broiler ration.
Okay, I was waiting to see that 10.9%.
Yeah, the layer ration we actually have right here, I got from his website.
Oh, okay.
So there's our layer rations, actually.
Okay.
There's your 10.9.
All right, let's do it. Starting with an empty bucket. You're gonna weigh that out and make it to 0. So that doesn't account for the weight of the bucket.
Yep, the bucket's 1.4 pounds.
See.
Okay, so now we'll weigh out our corn.
So what are you going by?
Well, we'll make 100 pounds.
Yeah.
So that means we want 49.7 pounds of corn.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. This is the layer ration, 49.7% corn. So that's easy. If you make 100 pounds, 49.7 pounds.
There's 22. Okay, there's 23 pounds. So this bucket will only hold about 23 pounds. So there's 23.
That means you want 26.7 more, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It might be a little tricky for this situation because he has so many buckets. Like this is like the third bucket of corn, right?
Yeah.
But if you're doing this on a small scale and say you were just getting this much, you could mark that with a Sharpie somewhere on your bucket and say corn, and then you would know exactly where to put it and you wouldn't have to weigh it every single time. That's what we did when we mixed our own grain. But we were on a smaller scale and we're actually just measuring out scoops, similar to that.
All right, now we're gonna move on to the soybeans. And we need 30.8% soybeans. So once these soybeans are roasted, they actually smell like peanut butter. It smells delicious. It actually doesn't taste too bad either.
If it's good enough for your chickens, it's good enough for you, right, Josh?
Yep. As a matter of fact, you can buy, they call them soy nuts. You can buy roasted soybeans at the store, just for snacking.
Good morning, sunshine.
How's it going?
How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good.
Hot.
10.9 oats.
In the book, he suggests that you crimp the oats or roll the oats. It just makes them a little more digestible, but we don't have a crimper and they're kind of expensive. So it says in the book it's okay to use whole oats rather than ground.
Yeah.
But you know, we'll get them ground or crimped eventually.
It might be tricky on this scale, but you could also soak a day's ration overnight. You could put it in a bucket, let's say a day's ration is that much. You could soak this at least 4 inches over it, and that makes it at least 15% more digestible.
10.9. All right, now we're gonna move on to the small stuff. So we're gonna do Aragonite, which is actually just ground mussel shells. And we got 5% of that, 3% Fertrell Nutri-Balancer. That's your bacterial cultures, probiotics, and minerals. And then 0.5% Kelp Meal. And then another thing it'll tell you in the book is you want to mix, because these are so small, you want to mix them all together first. Mix them all together and then you add them last, and just make sure you mix really evenly so that you don't get globs of minerals here and none here. So now we want 3 pounds of the Nutri-Balancer.
Where'd you get the Nutri-Balancer?
Well, I went to Fertrell's website and I searched for dealers in my area. I just put in my zip code and I found a couple of them. And I called them and I found out which ones were. This stuff has a shelf life. I think it lasts 3 months, maybe 6.
Okay.
I just found the people that are, there's a farm around here that they order it every month, so you know it's fresh.
Oh, cool.
The first place we went to, they were all sitting on pallets in a warehouse and they were super dusty and they just looked like they'd been there a long time. There was bird poop on them, so.
Same thing with the kelp, is that where you got it too?
Yep, I got that from the same people.
Okay, Fertrell Kelp, Fertrell Nutri-Balancer. I like that company myself, we use them myself. Now these grains, you grew yourself.
Yes, Ryan did.
Yes. But still, if you're buying your own grains, you're still gonna cut costs significantly. If you buy them whole and mix it yourself, you can get them at maybe at the same places you're buying your grain if they'll special order it for you, but you can get them at places like, I know New Country Organic ships all over America. You can go in on co-ops. If you don't have an area, you could, if there's maybe not a co-op in your area, maybe you could start a co-op.
So if I was if I wasn't working with Ryan and I was doing this by myself, I could still do this for the same price, because I could just come to him and buy the grains, and that's what we're doing really. We're taking what he sells his corn for, what he sells his soybeans for, and that's how we're formulating this price of 29 cents a pound.
Cool.
Small ingredients in the bucket, I'm gonna mix them up together really well, and that'll just give us a little more even mix when we put it in the grain. It's a little dusty. Because I'll let Ryan start mixing, or I'll start mixing. One of us will start mixing the grain, and the other one will sprinkle this in slowly while the other mixes, so that we get a more even mix. But Ryan's really busy right now because we've had some good weather and it's time to start planting. So I'll just do a little bit at a time, and I'll mix, and then I'll add a little more.
I can help you.
Oh, thanks. Like here's a good example. You see all those oats hanging out in the corner?
Yeah.
So I'll stand it up and I'll pull everything out of the corners and then mix some more. Otherwise you get little pockets in the corners where it's hard to reach. Check it out.
All right, thank you, Josh. Appreciate what you're doing, buddy. You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
At a different location, same farm, the cow operation. What are you guys doing?
We're gonna pump some water to refill their trough. There's an old hand dug well here.
What?
And we've got this pump and a hose we'll stick down there and pump the water out.
Do you want to see a hand dug well? Oh wow, they didn't have to dig very far.
No, it fills right up.
So it must be a spring here.
Yep. I just need to take the top part of it off. Whatever may have fallen in.
So we're in the process of getting our perimeter fence put up around our pasture out here. We're going to rotationally graze these cows. We're going to move them every single day.
Yeah.
And so right now they're in this pasture here. They're continuously grazing, but we're going to move them as soon as we can get our finish getting our pasture ready over there.
So if you guys haven't noticed, Ryan's an experienced grain farmer, but Josh and Ryan are working together to start or add an animal farm. So this is just beginning. Good job. Where are you going to learn how to rotationally graze?
I've been reading a lot of books. Grass Productivity by Andre Voisin. I've been reading Holistic Management by Alan Savory, Grass-Fed Beef by Joel Salatin.
Hey.
And I learned a lot from Dennis back at Full Circle Farm. So
Yeah, good point. He mentioned Salad Bar Beef by Joel Salatin. Listen, there's a summit coming up. Joel Salatin is going to do an online presentation on his book, Salad Bar Beef. It's going to be good. It's in Marjorie Wildcraft Summit. I'm in it with Keeping a Family Cow, Jeff Lawton, David the Good, 40 different presentations. I encourage you. It's free for 1 week. Sign up in the description below.
That tank that was in the maple syrup room, it used to be in the back of my truck, and I just bring well water down.
Oh, okay.
And then I just started doing this, you know, for the time being.
Yeah.
Now,
Cool.
what I was eventually going to do is make it so they could go down and just, you know, get their head into the creek.
Yeah.
And not the back. But since Josh came, I'm like, why put all that extra fence in when they're not going to be here anyways?
Yeah.
I'll do that end, Josh, if you want to do the other.
okay, cool. Yeah, you're better at that part. Yeah, if we hit the sides, we suck up dirt. So
Now, does dirt just go right through?
It will, yeah.
If it's small enough to get into these pipes, I imagine it just goes right through and out this other end of the
Yeah.
pipe. Cool.
Then it eventually just settles in there, you know.
Okay.
It usually lasts them about a week. You ready, Josh? Fire in the hole.
the first time I did this, I wasn't expecting so much pressure. And I almost lost the hose. There it goes. Woo! Got hit by the electric thing. You got shot? Yeah. Got a little too close to that wire.
That's really pushing it out, buddy. There it is. So how many cows do you have here?
3.
Okay. Well, they're hiding from us today,
They are.
but we get the picture. Thanks, guys. You guys ready to go to the car?
Yeah.
One arm for each of you. We were about to leave, and look, the cows are out. Oh, here they come. These 3 steers?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What breed?
2 red Angus and one's like a Hereford.
Boy,
I
these are gonna
believe.
be plump and come fall.
Yep.
Yeah, he just butchered one right before we got here, and when we got here we went to the butcher and picked it up. Incredible steaks.
Good morning to you too, guys.
So these guys won't ever get grain. They eat grass like they're supposed to.
Yes, you lucky dogs.
Sometimes they want to be friendly and sometimes they act nervous.
All right, you guys got to see the cows. You want to tell them bye?
Bye.
Say bye-bye. Back at the bus, let's check on Mom and Gideon. Or
Yep.
Gideon. Mom and Jonah. Hey, beautiful one.
Hello.
I see, I see you got a quick breakfast.
I do.
Okay, today we are hitting the road. Tomorrow we'll be at Niagara Falls.
That's right.
Tomorrow's vlog, Niagara Falls. Got the car hooked up. Hey, you can't ride there. You gotta get in the bus. You can't ride right there.
I'm riding right here.
You would if you could. All right, I guess you're the only one here.
Yeah,
to say
Ryan had to go out
goodbye.
and plant, so.
Ryan's busy planting, living the dream. Murphy's still feeling sick. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, poor thing. She's pretty rough, in pretty rough shape.
We wish you well, Murphy. You guys want to give him a hug goodbye?
Yeah.
It was good to see you guys again. I will. Thanks for coming. Bye guys, have fun. Be safe on the road. Hey, thanks man.
Thank you so much for your hospitality. Appreciate it.
Significant cust caught.